Yo, I'm Rich Vasak. Welcome to my podcast. Today we have another segment of Introduce My Artist. And today is an artist that's near and dear to my heart. It's not only one of my tattoo artists, one of my apprentices, but it's also my younger brother. Welcome, Roger.
I hope you know me your whole life.
Welcome,
Brother.
Roger. Welcome, brother. Love you, man. All right, Roger, why don't you tell the viewers out there where you grew up and a little bit about yourself?
So I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, and obviously we're brothers, so we grew up in the same household.
Yeah.
But I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley. For those of you who don't know where the San Gabriel Valley is, that's like a neighborhood in Los Angeles. And growing up there, I had the chance to really just grow up around a lot of Asians, grow up around a lot of Mexicans, and it was a cool way to just kind of like go about life there.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I decided to move over to a lot of different places. I lived over in like San Diego. I lived overseas, and now I found myself back in the San Gabriel Valley.
What high school did you go to in San Gabriel Valley?
Man, I went to like a couple of high schools.
Tell
So
us about
back in it's been a long time, but San Gabriel High School was my first high school that I ever went to. I still feel that I'm from there. But after my sophomore year or so, I ended up getting kicked out. And then I went to this school called Independence. For those of you guys that don't know, it's just like 1 day a week. We get a packet of work. We just go in there, we do whatever we can, and we turn in, we get credits. And then,
Which independence was that? Maybe the viewers.
it was in the Alhambra School District.
Okay.
Yeah. And then afterwards, I went to this other school called CDS, which is like a school for kids who were just bad. We're doing like troublesome and everything. And you had to go there for a few months and show that you're doing well, and then they'll move you back into a school. And once I was completed with that, I went to Marquette High School.
Okay. All right. But you didn't graduate from Marquette, did you?
I did graduate from
Oh,
Marquette.
you did graduate from Marquette.
So was it
You
really
didn't make it back to San Gabriel?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I tried.
Mhm.
I tried it as hard as I could. I tried, but unfortunately, they said that they didn't want me in there. And interesting story though too, because the reason probably why they don't want me there is because of you and Robert.
Yeah.
Because the first day I went to San Gabriel High School, one of the narcs, they saw my paper and they said, Vasak? I'm like, do you have a brother? And I go, yeah, I do. I have two brothers. And they're like, oh man, not another one. So of course they didn't want me there. But luckily, I knew a person at Marquette High School. He thought I was a good kid at the time, so he let me in there, and then I got to graduate from there.
And then you went to college.
Yes.
And tell us about where you went to college.
I went to University of California, San Diego, UCSD. Really great school, really good time. When I was over there, I had the chance to like learn a lot of things that were that really I could use to today. Just like understanding like communications and understanding how that works out. What inspired me to kind of go to UCSD was a family friend named Johnny. Richard knows him.
Shout out Johnny. That's my road dog, my best friend.
So,
shout out Johnny Foon.
So Johnny, when Richard and my other brother Robert went to jail, Johnny became kind of like an older brother to me. So did Johnny's brother Steve. They took me in as the little brother. So I always idolized Johnny. And Johnny, he did two things that I really, really wanted to do in my life. One, he went to San Diego and went to college. And then
he also went to UC San Diego.
He did go to UC San Diego.
And he graduated just like you.
Yes, yeah. So that pushed me to go to UCSD. He told me to go to this specific college in UCSD called Roosevelt, ERC, Eleanor Roosevelt. And that was the worst decision from Johnny because that was one of the hardest schools to even go through. But after that, like seeing Johnny kind of go through that, going through the trials, going through the trouble of ERC and UCSD, that made me really want to do it myself.
And you said there's two things. The other thing was traveling, maybe?
The other thing was traveling. So Johnny, Johnny and my family have been there since I can remember,
Yeah.
He's been your best friend forever now.
Best friend since we were a kid.
So I know that he has this life similar to yours,
Mm-hmm.
who's gotten into a lot of trouble, and he changed himself, and he did a lot of cool things afterwards, and he got to travel, he got to see things that that made me feel that I want to do something similar. You know, now that I know somebody who's done it, I want to just follow in the same footsteps.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And you lived in Korea.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
them a little bit about living in Korea. How was that like?
It was South Korea, just for anybody who's confused.
Yeah.
But Korea was one of
Yeah.
the most amazing times of my life, and I had two things I got to do there. Number one, I got to teach, and teaching was probably the most humbling thing you can do, right?
Mm,
And number two, I got to travel as much as I can because Korea was close to other countries. I got to travel all over Asia. I got to go to Cambodia. I got to go to Laos, and
wow.
I got to go to Myanmar, which very few people in the world ever got to go to
Yeah.
Myanmar. And it's been an amazing experience doing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing, Roger, man. Just when I was in prison and just hearing that you're traveling and then you kind of follow Johnny's footsteps, I already knew you're in good hands, even though, I wasn't there and stuff like that. And so I'm sure like being able to travel as much as and extensive as you traveled, some of that has inspired you into your artwork. Can I say that that's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So really what inspired me was I don't know if you remember this, Richard, but I want to say 18, 17 years old, but you guys opened the first
Mm-hmm.
Ink Fiend Art,
Mm-hmm.
and I was lucky enough
In
to be
East
there
LA.
in East LA. Yeah, I was lucky enough to be over there
Mhm.
and see you guys and see you guys
Who's
tattooing.
you guys? Tell me.
Oh, Master Mike was also my mentor,
Yeah.
and
Shout out Master Mike. Bong.
mm,
Mike right there.
yeah. So I saw you guys do that, and you guys had this specific style, like Asian, but I didn't know how to describe it at the time. I just knew it as like kind of like aggressive, kind of like it looks dope, it looks badass. And then I remember one time you described it as kind of like a street style, right? Street style Asian art. So I could see the influence of like street art, Los Angeles, SGV into that Asian art, and that just kind of like really inspired me from there. And
Mm-hmm.
being a kid at the time, man, that's stuck in my head for so long. So now I'm like, all my tattoos are like that, and now luckily I got to do it myself, so it's pretty cool.
And and tell us about your first like intro to getting tattoos or tattoo experience.
It was also with Master Mike at the old Inkfiend shop. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted my first tattoo. I was 18 at the time. I was really excited, and I walk in, and Mike's dope as fuck. He says, "Do whatever you want. I'll do anything for you." And I go, "Okay, cool, cool." So I go, "Mike, all right, I want this tribal armband." And he looks at me and he goes, "Okay, okay, you know, he's cool, you know, he's calm
Yeah.
nature." So he brings out a stack of books, right?
Mm,
Puts it on the table, and then he says, "Just look at this first,
yeah.
and find something else, right?
Yeah.
So, or just broaden your horizons."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure." So I started looking through it and everything. 10 minutes later, I just push everything aside. Like, "No, Mike, I want this tribal armband."
Yeah.
And sure enough, he's cool enough. He was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And
Yeah.
then now I have it. It's like one of a kind now. Thanks, Master Mike.
Mike, yeah. So Mike back in the days did tribal bands for people that don't know. It's funny. Um, and in hindsight, he was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because you would rather have his style now.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And you do have that. You have a dope sleeve, and now you're a tattoo artist, Roger. After all of that, living that life, traveling the world, graduating, um, going to UCSD, getting a degree over there, living in another country, and all that stuff, and why be a tattoo artist?
That's a good question. But in my life, I've been blessed enough to do a lot of cool things. Like being a teacher. That was a really cool experience. I've been in corporate life. I got to do a lot of different things, but
You worked in a lot of startups, I
a lot of
remember.
startups. Yeah, we had a startup that got acquired. But in the back of my mind, seeing you and Mike, that it looked pretty cool. So So every time we go out, you guys say you guys are tattoo artists, and that always stuck in my head. But what prevented me from doing something like that was my artistic skill. I felt that I didn't feel comfortable enough to be able to do that, right? I just didn't think I was a good artist. But you kind of pushed me into it. You said it's something that you could learn. Uh, and at the time, I was reading a lot of books about growth mindset. So that kind of inspired me. I had conversations with Mike. He took me in with open arms. You said that you would kind of always be there for me to help me out, and that gave me the confidence to jump into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's one of the best decisions.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
It's the dopest job in the world,
Yeah.
and I'll never take that for granted.
Yeah, yeah, and so you like being a tattoo artist now?
I love it. It's the
Well,
coolest thing ever.
tell us a little bit about some of the things why you like being a tattoo artist.
So me being having a lot of tattoos myself, uh, there's one thing I always knew. I remember that when I look in a mirror and I didn't have any tattoos, I felt like something was missing. So I was like, man, I got to do something. I got to get some tattoos or something, right? And once I got it, I felt a different confidence. You know, I felt like finally this is what I should look like. This is how I envision myself. So now that I get to tattoo people and I get to do that for people, and that moment where they walk up to the mirror and you see that little smile on their face, as in like, man, people finally see me. People finally see the cool person that I am.
Wow.
And every time I see that, I've done so many sleeves, I've done so many tattoos, and that still gets me today. Like, I love seeing that.
Yeah, for sure. Not That's like one of the best, probably one of the top things about being a tattoo artist is seeing the person, the client's vision come to life for themselves, and the confidence that gives them, because like you said, they envision themselves like a certain way, but it never manifested. But after you do the tattoo, they look at themselves in the mirror and it's like, wow, there's that person, like
Yeah,
I love that too, man. That's not talked about as much in the tattoo industry, about how confident somebody is after getting a tattoo, so it's a very rewarding feeling, huh, Roger?
I love it. And the thing is, like, with tattoos, people don't get a tattoo on a whim, especially our style of tattooing.
Yeah, because it's so extensive.
It's so
the work.
extensive.
Yeah.
They think about it. They've been thinking about it for years.
Yeah,
And they constantly look at themselves. They probably research tons of artists, save up money, everything. And they just never made the jump because they're nervous, or maybe they didn't know who to go to, or whatever may be the case. But once they finally do that, and it happens for them and it manifests, it's like, man, like something about them, their confidence is just tenfold.
Yeah. I love it. I've seen it, man. I've seen it so many times over, so many times over. So now that you've been a tattoo artist for a few years now, Roger, and what inspires your art now?
Let's see here. So, growing up in San Gabriel Valley, it's a big Asian community. So, Asian art, Asian folklore is something that I really like reading into. And when I traveled, I got to go to see like food dogs in front of temples, Fujin Raijins, and why it's so impactful in their culture. So I get to take those elements and then bring it into our style, right? And the thing that I think about all the time is how much confidence it gives me. So what I try to do with my tattoos and all my designs is give it some personality, like a confident personality, and kind of a blend between aggressiveness and confidence. And I like to think that all my tattoos look sinister. So it's pretty cool,
It's dope, man. Yeah, I seen you grow into an artist. It's awesome that you were also able to witness the beginning of Ink Fiend Art back in East LA. Some of you OGs out there that know, everybody knows Ink Fiend Art is in Alhambra now, Mike's tattoo shop. But few people know that it used to be in East LA. Yeah, and you're one of the few people that knew. So it's
You even had a pool table in there?
Yeah,
That was
we had a
cool.
pool table in there. Yeah, that was fun.
That's cool.
And now, after all those years, you know, Roger, and now you're a part of the Ink Fiend now. Now you're a part of the brand now. You work with the brand. You have your coworkers are Ink Fiend. What does it feel like now to, after all these years, witness the beginning, but now be a representative of Ink Fiend as the brand as well?
I would say it's surreal. Like I don't. I wake up every day. I get to do tattoos, and I get to do it under the Ink Fiend banner. And I remember the moment where I was on Instagram, and I see everybody's Instagram. I see Rich Ink Fiend, Master Mike Ink Fiend, and and I added that like Roger underscore Ink Fiend,
Mm,
and I thought, wow, this is kind of crazy, you know.
yeah.
So when I had that moment, I did that. It was like, could this be real? Am I really a tattoo artist?
Yeah.
And now that I am, and representing Ink Fiend, I feel that I have to uphold a high standard because the art here is just so at such a high level.
Yeah.
But having you guys kind of like guide us, man, I've done so many sleeves in my overall short career in tattooing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people go 10 years without doing a sleeve, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So for me, I've been blessed to be able to do all those tattoos. And
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. It's beautiful, man.
Mm.
How about your coworkers? How about where you like your coworkers?
Yeah, I love them, man.
Yeah.
Over here, it's
Tell us about the environment here.
over here. It might be cliche to say, but it's family, right? And I could safely say that because you're my brother. My other brother works here,
Mm.
but everybody has like some type of relationship to us. And the thing when you go into work, and I've been in a lot of work environments, you always want to trust the person next to you, right? You always want to feel like they have your best interest. So when I'm here, when people get tattooed from me, when clients come and get tattooed from me, they don't just get a tattoo from me. They get to experience the family nature. They get to meet everybody. They feel very comfortable here.
Yeah.
And just seeing that and having that, there's no better place to get a tattoo. You're
Yeah.
gonna feel like family here.
Yeah, I feel like everybody here is so selfless, you know, always considerate, always so thoughtful and stuff, and I really love that atmosphere, and that's one of the things I love about working here is our environment, you know, and our coworkers and stuff like that. And you fit right in, brother. You know, you're hardworking. I see you put in the work. I see what the clients get, you know, the personalization in the tattoos and the amount of prep work that you do, you know. So it shows in your art, you know. Why don't you tell the viewers out there about about why should they get a tattoo from you, Roger?
So the number one thing when you're talking to me about getting a tattoo or getting a tattoo from me is that I get to know you. I do my research about you. Our consultations are always going to be me trying to understand your personality and what you're looking for. And not just that, it's like I want to bring to life what you had in your mind, but sometimes not everybody can explain it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I try to do is understand the person's history, how they grew up, where they're from, and I put that together for them, you know? So, for example, somebody who wants a tattoo and they're like, I don't know, I don't know how to do it, and I talk to them about how do they see themselves and they grew up with it.
Roger, why don't you tell the viewers out there how they can book with you and where they can find you on social media?
You can find me at Roger underscore Inkfiend. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Please hit me up anytime. DM me. We'll set up a consultation. We'll get to know you, or I'll get to know you, and we'll make sure we craft a tattoo that fits you, your personality, and your full body.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So book ASAP. Check him out on Instagram. DM him. Check out his TikTok. I know a lot of people watch his TikTok. That's another episode of a segment of Introduce My Artist. It's Roger Vasak, Rich Vasak, Ink Fiend OC. Peace out.